Welcome to this Wednesday Word of Wisdom. Now, before I get to the content, I just want to ask you to subscribe to this channel. You can also follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I also have a blog and a podcast if you would rather read or just listen to this type of content. Just subscribe to those and you'll get notified every single time that I put out some new content for you. All of the links that you need are right on the screen for you. Okay, so today we are going to talk about depression. And I know that sounds like a really heavy topic. And the thing is, depression is a huge topic, so I'm not going to be able to share everything that I would love to share with you about depression. But the thing is that we are in an unprecedented time right now. And I know that that's being thrown around a lot recently. But the thing is that with the restrictions that come from something like this pandemic, what is happening is that we are behaving in a similar fashion to somebody who is clinically depressed. Staying in more, just binge watching Netflix, shutting out the world, not socializing. There's a lot of pieces around this pandemic that are causing us to behave as though we were depressed. And our mind and our body are interconnected, so they speak to one another. So when we are depressed, our mind releases certain neurotransmitters and doesn't pick up on other ones, which then creates a certain behavior in our body. But our body can also speak to our mind. So what can happen is that when our behavior is similar to a response that our brain would connect with a certain experience or feeling or emotion, it creates that emotion because it assumes that that's what is happening inside your body and your mind. So they speak to one another. And we need to start to make some shifts in our world so that we can pull ourselves out of these depressive places. The thing is that whether you are clinically depressed or you're behaving in a depressed fashion, the tools are still similar. Now, obviously, it takes a lot more work when you are clinically depressed to really, truly pull yourself out. It is not a simple task when you literally don't feel like you have any motivation and that you just want to shut out the world. It can be so hard to even just get yourself out of bed and say into the shower or out of bed long enough to get a glass of water, because all we want to do is hide away from the world. Now, depression can stem from a number of different areas in our world. There is clinical depression, there's like environmental depression. And one of the key pieces that we have to keep in mind, one of the foundational tools that we need to be remembering is self-care and how vital that is to what we feel and how we experience our world and how we manage our stress. See, when the brain gets run down, it shuts off any processes that we don't need so that it can conserve energy in case it needs to protect us. That is its base function, is to protect us. So when we're not taking care of ourselves, what happens is our brain gets run down. It shuts off processes we don't need, like our higher order cognitive functions like logic and reasoning, which is the tool that we use to help us control our emotion. And so if we don't have that working, what's going to happen is that our emotions are going to raise and we are going to feel like we cannot control them. Then we start to feel helpless. We start to feel hopeless because we feel completely out of control of what is happening in our mind and our body. And there are a number of self-care pieces that, like I said, are absolutely foundational to your ability to manage the stresses that are happening in your world. I did a whole series on self-care, so I would love for you to jump back and actually watch each and every one of the self-care videos that I had made so that you can really get a hold of some of that information. They're really quick and simple, and they won't take you a long time to go through because they're just a really quick overview, but they are going to help you to start to take care of yourself better. When you are feeling depressed, some of the key things that you can do is, first of all, you know what? You need connections. You need social supports. You need to reach out. You need to stay connected to the important people in your world and to those people who are going to uplift you, motivate you, give you some pep that are going to make you feel a little bit better. And it doesn't mean always digging in deep and talking about all of the darkness that's happening in your world. Sometimes it's just about having a conversation with somebody to get you out of your head and to make you feel better so that you can get out of bed, get off your couch, go take a shower so that you can do some things for yourself. And that's really point number 2 is we need to do things that make us feel good. And our bodies are connected to water. So when we can get into the shower, it feels amazing to just sit there and allow that hot water to just run all over you, to just enjoy that time that you are in the shower and just relax and let your mind relax and just be connected to that moment. But we have to be present in that moment. We have to allow ourselves to get out of our headspace and just focus on the things that we can see, the things that we can hear, the things that we can feel, because those things, they don't have the emotional attachment to them. And so when we think about those things, we can allow ourselves just to sit in the present moment, and especially when we are attaching a positive sentiment to it, and just allow ourselves to be present in that moment. The third thing that we need to do is we need to get moving. Even if that is literally from your bed to the bathroom to brush your teeth. Even if that simply means going and checking the mail or taking a quick walk around the block. Just put on a pair of shoes, get outside, feel the sunlight, feel the breeze. Again, allow yourself to be present in that moment. Even just breathing that fresh air. Walking is one of the best antidepressants out there. It does so many things for you. It uses your biggest muscle groups. It increases your oxygen flow. If you walk long enough, it starts to shift our head. It starts to shift our focus. Walking releases endorphins, and endorphins make us happy. So we need to get moving, and we need to get outside and breathe that fresh air. Now, these are just a couple of very quick tips that you can use to pick yourself up. But like I said, jump into that self-care series. Make sure that you go through it, come up with some great ideas of your own. And you know what? I also have a free handout for you, which is the 40 tips to a superb life. And I would love to give them to you absolutely for free. The link is below the video in the description for you to be able to get a hold of that tool for yourself so that you can come up with some more ideas of ways that you can improve how you feel and increase your resilience in this unprecedented time. All right, get out there, take care of you. It is now your turn. Bye for now. What does it mean to live love intentionally? How we show up in our relationship really determines the quality and the outcome of that relationship. Our perspective and how we see our partner gives way to freedom and happiness within our relationship, that satisfaction. In life, it is our decisions, not our conditions, that determine the quality of our life. So for the next 30 days, I'm going to challenge you to live love intentionally, to take your relationship from meh to marvelous. from good to great. You know what? Even if you are struggling in your relationship right now, living love intentionally challenge is for you. You can turn that relationship upside down and see success that you had never anticipated. Rejuvenate, reignite, and reconnect. Let's learn how to live love intentionally.